okay, hold up. Is there like an alpha in this house or something? Because my cycle's adjusting to someone else's and I don't know how I feel about it. Hey guys, it's Chelsea. I wanted to talk about periods because I haven't talked about them in a long time. I grew up kind of in my high school years talking about this topic, and a lot of you guys enjoyed it because I shared some pretty funny things. But I want to talk about a very real thing that's been happening lately. I find that this is just a fun topic to talk about because it doesn't really go away. Like, for a lot of us, it's a reoccurring thing and we got to deal with it, so why not have fun talking about it? So here we are. So I know some of you guys have heard different stories of when you go and you move out with roommates, or if you live with another girl, usually your periods will sync up with each other. Well, it's very true, and it's also very strange whenever you've lived with one set of roommates for a while and then two of them move out and new ones move in, and then you find your cycle changing and you're like, okay, hold up. Is there like an alpha in this house or something? Because my cycle's adjusting to someone else's and I don't know how I feel about it. But it happens and it's so weird. And I wish I could control it, but I've found myself starting 2 weeks early and then sometimes a week late. And lately, I don't know whose cycle I'm adjusting to. I'll have to talk to one of my roommates. But it kind of catches you off guard, especially if you have been planning for a trip and you're going to somewhere out of the country, or you're working a job that's not in the same location, and it just really throws you off because you're not prepared. You didn't bring anything. So now I have learned to always be prepared, keep a tampon and pads or whatever sanitary stuff you use in your purse or backpack. I usually carry a backpack around a lot because I never know anymore, and I hate that I never know. I know a lot of people have gone on birth control to kind of regulate theirs, but I'm curious if it even changes with living with other people while you're on birth control, because it's just weird. So I'm gonna search, why do girls' periods sync up? BBC.com says, it's commonly believed that women who live together eventually experience the syncing of their monthly periods. But could it just be chance? The theory behind the syncing of the menstrual cycles is that the women's pheromones interact when they are in close proximity, causing them to have their period at the same time. Interesting. I'm going to read another article by Cosmopolitan. A scientific study dating back to 1971, which analyzed 8 continuous cycles of 135 American women all living in a dormitory together, discovered that there was increasing likeness in the girls' menstrual cycles. So why is that? It's all to do with socially mediated synchrony, apparently, which applies to groups of women both of human and animal species. Its purpose, according to the Sydney Morning Herald, is that groups of females become sexually receptive altogether, meaning they won't be singled out and therefore targeted by men. So in the animal kingdom, for example, it prevents the dominant male from taking control of a woman simply because of the timing of their sexual receptiveness. Basically, it's a protective feature put in play by Mother Nature to make sure we don't get treated as objects by the opposite sex just because we're the only one on our period. And that it means there's always enough ice cream to go around. Cheers, love. Great. I don't know if I believe that one, but I know even whenever I was living with my mom and my sister, all of ours synced up at the same time. I thought that was just kind of a family thing, but then when I moved out here and I've been living here for close to a year, I've realized that as people come and go, you know, their cycles are different, but eventually we all kind of get on the same one. If that article from Cosmopolitan is correct, then that means God's looking out for us, I guess, protecting us. I don't know. Do some thinking, do some digging, do some researching. On the topics of periods and all that sort of stuff, I also wanted to say that as I've gotten older, I used to say, oh my gosh, I'm the only one out of all my friends that doesn't get cramps, and I'm never in pain, I just have my period. But that's not the case anymore. Every time I get my period, I'm like, okay, expect the next morning to be awful, and I'm in pain, and I don't want to go anywhere because it hurts so bad. And I remember having friends in even middle school that would complain about the pain that they were in. And I would be like, man, why? Like, I want to be in pain. Why am I not in pain? But I don't want to be in pain anymore. Take some Midol and it's all good for like 3 hours, and then it comes back. I don't know if I've shared this with any of you guys, but there was a point where my acne was so bad in high school that I took birth control just for acne, and it didn't work, so I went off of it, but it made my periods much lighter. But then it also kind of made me gain water weight, and I know that happens with certain types of birth control and everything. I didn't take birth control for the actual reason that people take birth control, is to control birth. I took it for acne. It didn't help, so I stopped taking it, but I did enjoy the fact that my periods were lighter, because I'm definitely not on the light side, which makes my cramps like suck. That's a little update on this topic and what's been happening. Since my last video, I'm trying to figure out what upload day works best for myself, but also when would be the best time for people to view videos. I'm just thankful for you guys and for wanting to talk about topics like this and being open-minded and just wanting to have fun with it. So have some conversations with your roommates, your sisters, yourself. So there was your science lesson for the day. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning into this video, and I will see you on my social media and in my next video. Deuces.